Okay guys, so I know this is probably going to be a video that is cut from the norm of what I'm going to be doing. And yeah, I'm just basically stalling at this point, but this is something that I honestly would have talked about regardless of whether or not I actually had an idea for a video or not. But basically what we're talking about is that on December 14th, the Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC, the freaking FCC as some people like to call them, basically are trying to make a couple of changes to their policies towards internet usage, specifically the one regarding net neutrality. Now, I have heard people say, well, what does that even care? I don't know anything about it. Why should I care about it now? Well, here's the reason why. Net neutrality is essentially the idea that you can access any website or any part of the internet without having to pay extra for it. Essentially, you're just paying for the connection, which is basically what we've been doing now. You can access YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the same way without having to charge extra simply for you just have to charge for the connection. Now, say something like Netflix or Uber, where basically you are getting charged for using certain services. That's a little bit different. However, you can still access them and not have to pay anything. Basically, it's that whole thing where you don't have to pay, you're basically not paying for passing by the pastry shop and smelling the air. Where, sure, the smell is basically kind of the advertisement, but basically all you have to do is just jingle a few coins and, hey, that's you can just pass on through. You know, for those of you who don't know the tale, it's basically about a kid who is basically sent to court because he passed by a bakery and didn't pay for smelling the pastries, even because basically the lady has been so used to essentially having people smell the aroma, go in and buy something from her. And this is the first kid to have done not that. And basically the court said, okay, I need a certain amount of money in my hand right now. The boy reluctantly gave the judge the coins. He jingled them in his hand, returned it back to the boy, and say, every time you pass by that pastry shop, you're going to jingle the coins and you will have paid her in full, maybe even more. However, the FCC, so basically using that metaphor, we're essentially that little boy. Or I guess in my case, I'm a little boy. I mean, I'm 5'7", and you know, I have a male genitalia, and yeah, we're basically just passing by the pastries in the internet. However, with the FCC, it's basically the judge is going to favor the lady and is basically going to have to force us to pay, and if not, then we're going to jail. And yeah, let's just say we're going back into some pretty dark stuff. Now, it's basically going to affect us a lot in various ways. For the casual person, that means you won't be able to access websites that you would normally not really pay anything extra to have the access to it. Like, you know, and essentially what a lot of companies are planning on doing is essentially package different services together. In other words, say you're a person that you know, actually pays for different services. You're basically gonna have to pay extra for going outside of the package. You're basically gonna do the same thing they did with cable, and well, we all know how that turned out. Anyways, this will affect us a lot, especially in other areas. Say, for example, small business. Now, basically what that means is that maybe there's a certain audience you want to reach, and unfortunately there may be a prospective audience that you're going to be denied of. Like, say, for example, if I want to start up a pastry shop. I don't know why I have pastries in the brain now. Maybe it's because I'm hungry or stuff. But basically, that means that depending on my connection, I will only be able to put my advertisements on certain websites without having to pay extra. And that could essentially mean that there are people out there who may want my pastries, but won't know that they exist. Why? Because they removed net neutrality. And we could go even further than and say that it will affect us politically as well. Take, for example, certain movements like the Red Pill movement or Black Lives Matter, just to stay even. A lot of these movements actually started because they were able to get people from other parts of the country to join in on this movement, and which is why they have managed to have gotten so big. Whether you're on the left or on the right, this will affect you greatly in the sense that you won't be able to get your message across to people, and it'll affect us greatly. And not only, and of course, me being an anime YouTuber or a prospective anime YouTuber, this essentially means that I will not be able to access the internet and that I would, in the way that I would normally do it. I'd basically have to start paying the big guys more for this. And not only that, but that also means that my bills are going to be higher. And being someone who already has a part-time job, who already has to pay bills on top of that, who has to help his family out, this is going to impact me greatly, and basically means that the internet, what was once for me a necessity, or basically a utility that has facilitated my life, is now going to be relegated to a luxury. If this were back in the 1776, it would basically be like regulating the printing press. Obviously, it would accelerate the creation of a new world pretty quickly. And yeah, that's basically what the FCC is trying to do. They're basically trying to put a regulation on something that, if regulated, people will essentially face the consequences of. In other words, this is basically big business trying to squeeze out everything from the little guy. Now, I'm a person that honestly believes in capitalism. I honestly believe in privatization. However, this is not capitalism. This is straight up straight up oligarchy. That is all it can be. It's basically the people on top, the people with power influencing all the lives of people, and honestly, they're only doing it for their own gain. So, what can we do in this case? Well, this is where I step into action. Now, I did manage to create a Twitter account. Aside from the usual anime stuff that I'll put in there, I do also put up I will occasionally put up a couple of videos as well, and also I'll be able to talk to people more directly. However, in this instance, I will put up an image that way you can sort of share around in social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or whatever. This is just something so that you can share as well, so that you can get in a conversation. And it will have a link to a website that I have, of course, already signed up, and I have already sent my petition out. I have already sent a letter to Congress that I have already signed in. That way, as a citizen, as a net, I have a proper representation. However, I do not just plan on staying there. That image, essentially, I am going to photocopy it and print it out and basically put it all over Austin. Basically, you're going to see this on college campuses, web cafes, and other places of interest where this will pop up. So, maybe you can, if you guys are in Austin, you can find me posting these up or whatever. And I will not stop there. I will actually stop by truck depots as well, and I will put this, I'll try to see if I can get some of the truckers to let me put this, on the side of their trucks. That way, if you're on the highway, you will see this too. So, that's just me being a little bit of a jackass. But I did not just stop in there. I implore you guys as well to send letters to your congressmen, congresswomen, if it applies, and senators. I implore you to spam the heck out of them. Tell them that this is not right. This is something that will even affect them as well. Since, after all, politicians do use the internet, and without the ability to communicate with their respect with the people that they represent, this will greatly affect how they are viewed upon, and may even affect elections as well. So yeah, this is something that will greatly affect any politics. And you know what? Why are we sticking with the legislative branch? There are 3 other branches of government, the judicial and the executive, so why not talk directly to them? And this is my message to them. I already talked with the legislative part of the branch. Now let me talk to the executive branch, aka Donald J. Trump. And I'm telling you this, Uncle Donnie, make sure that net neutrality stays in part of the internet. You are alive as a citizen of the internet. This is how you communicate with people. This will affect you greatly. And let's just say, if you want to make America great again, start by this. Alright? You already got your tax reform in. You already got your tax reform past the freaking Senate. Now, try to deny any changes that the FCC is trying to make, alright? Alright? Keep America great before you start making America greater. Alright? And if you're not gonna do it, then goddamn it. Then, if you're not gonna do it, then you know what that makes you? That makes you a pussy that deserves to be grabbed. Alright? Alright? I am triple dog daring you to deny any changes made by the FCC to our access to the internet. And to the judiciary bench, the Supreme Court. This is obviously a violation of the First Amendment. Alright? It denies our freedom of speech, it denies our freedom of expression, and it denies our freedom to assemble. Alright? This is obviously, and I hope that if things go down the rabbit hole, if things just go down the shitter, I hope that there's a lawyer out there that actually cares about us and that actually wants to go ahead and actually sue the U.S. government for allowing this to happen. All right, we have our rights, and we are not gonna be denied our rights. We will act. All right, I am already acting. All right, and I hope that there are people out there that also want to act. All right, this is not capitalism. This is straight up oligarchy, and America is not an oligarchy. It is a republic run under capitalism. All right, let's teach the people that are lobbying for the removal of of net neutrality. Let's teach them what real capitalism looks like. All right, we the people will not bend to the will of money. On the contrary, money shall bend to the will of the people. That is all I need to say, people. Now, if you excuse me, I have an episode of Blend S that needs to be watched. That was a pretty cute girl, if you ask me. Yeah, she's going to go in. Wait. Are you kidding me? Oh wait, so this entire... Oh my god. Oh yeah. Well, I know what I'm going to be talking about next video. So, yeah, I'm going to put the link in the description. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter if you want more stuff about this. And you know what? Tell me what you want me to make about it. I think I already know what I'm going to do in the next video. So, yeah, until then, this is me saying thank you for being smart. And hopefully things will go a lot better real soon.